Welcome back to day 22 of the 30-day coding challenge. If you're new here, hi, my name's Zoe. I'm a software engineer and former university professor that loves teaching folks how to code. If you're interested in learning how to code, check out that first link in the description below. But without further ado, let's hop into day 22. All right, so today we're going to actually just be building this to-do app right here. And we're going to build it in the dark mode version. If we have time, we'll add in the toggle switcher, but I really want to focus on us getting the logic correct for this one. So yeah, basically what we're going to be able to do is create a new to-do and add it to our to-do list here. So pretty straightforward and simple, but we're going to be using a lot of state, and we'll use this as a challenge to sort of showcase our skills and how we can work with the state. So I've gone ahead and started up the app here. Again, if you do want to follow along, I'm using this it's a free design from Frontend Mentor. I'm using this design here. I'll link it down below. And then I'm also using this starter with Material UI, Next.js, and TypeScript. If you don't want to use those, you don't have to. But if you do want to use that, it's also linked down below. And so I've gone ahead and I downloaded the starter from Frontend Mentor, and then I've dropped the images that we might be using here in this image folder, so we can access those. And I've gone ahead and started up the app. So the app is up and running right now. So first things first, let's go ahead and get started. So I want to go ahead and looking at the design, there's this background element, there's this bottom element, and then there's this list of to-dos. I want to focus on the logic first, and then we can spend as much time as we have left over working on the design and making it look fancy. So I think what I want to do first is start with this sort of like container or whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to start with a new folder. I'm going to say components. And then I'm going to create a new file, and I'm going to call it to-do container. Cool. And I'm going to go ahead, also clear out these initial styles. Oops. And I'm going to drop that in our page here. I'm going to say to-do container. Cool. So we have our first component in there. And as I said, we'll work on the styling after. Just want to get this kind of up and running. So in the container, I guess we'll start with a box. And we're definitely going to be using state in this component. So I'm going to make it a client component just to make our lives a little bit easier. This is a Next.js specific thing that we have to do here. And so we have the container, and then within the container, we're going to have it's basically a form that we're submitting the to-do, and then we're like listing them down here. And that's pretty much it. So I think first things first, I'm going to actually create a form. I'm going to use the regular form element just because we've had trouble in the past using the Next.js form element. Within that, I am going to use a text field from Material UI, not Next.js, from Material UI. And what else? There's those two. And then we want to just display those to-dos at the bottom. Cool. So with the form, how do we want to do this? We could basically create a list and say like const to-dos equals an array. And then we could say, then we can say const handle submit equals, we take in, we're going to take in the event, and then we're going to say, okay, any type for now. We'll say to-dos dot push event dot target dot value. I think it should be. We'll double check. And then below we'll say to-dos dot map for each to-do. We can go ahead and return just a box with that to-do. Oops. To-do. Okay, the key will be the to-do. Okay, cool. So then on submit, we want to handle submit. And I think that's what we want to do. So let me go ahead and console log event so we can see if we're getting the right thing, and then we'll go from there. So let me see if, oh, and you know what? I actually can't see. Okay, there's the text field right there. So let's go here. I wonder if we can use this background color here, just so we can see. Yeah, I'll go ahead and set the background color, do a little bit of styling so we can see what we're doing. Okay, cool. There we can see it now. All right, so yeah, we'll say test to do. Okay, so it's refreshing. So I need to probably prevent default. Event.prevent default. We'll try again. All right, so that's, what did I console log? I console log the event. So event.target. Okay, so there are two objects we get. No value in the second one, but in the first one, e.target is test do. Test to do. All right, cool. So I think we want to grab the target of 0.value. And if I console log this, then I get to do. Perfect. All right, so that's exactly what we want to happen right there. So I'm going to get rid of these console logs. I'm going to see if I can type this as synthetic base event. Maybe it's react.synthetic base event. No? Okay, I'm not quite sure where that type came from. So we're just going to leave it as any for now, but if we can figure it out later, we'll do that. Okay, so we've gotten our first to do. And then the next thing we need to do, so that happens. But then we're not seeing our to do down here as far as I can tell. So to do 1, to do 2. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything down here that would indicate that the to-dos are showing up. So maybe it's worth like adding it to a state and doing that whole thing. That could be worth doing, because it doesn't seem to be, because the page isn't refreshing, it's not reloading which to-dos are present. We could also try sending it to a component and see if that updates. Let's see. Let's say to-do.tsx. Oops. And then we'll take in a to-do. Oh, how did I spell it? And then we'll say to-do. I don't think this will make a difference. I think we're probably going to end up having to do some sort of state situation. Okay, so let's use state for this project. And when I say use state, let's use like, we could also, hold on, before I complicate this. The goal of this, I want to make something that's not too complex. Like if we don't have to install Zustand or Redux, I'd rather not. But if we do have to, then we have to, set to-dos. I think we should also just spell it with to-dos, set to-dos, use state as an array. We'll get rid of this. We'll say set to-dos to be to-dos, comma, this. Oh, I know what's wrong here. Okay. Oh, you know what I could do actually? We'll say const new list equals set to do's to new list. I'm just gonna say any. Okay. I'll say this, that. Oops, to do. I'm just trying to be consistent. Oops. To do. I could have just controlled. All right, cool. Yes. So let's see if this works now. So refresh. Let's do to do 1, to do 2, to do 3. Awesome. So you can barely see it just because of the color contrast, but they are showing up. So we've gone ahead and basically started our to-do app without actually having to install anything. This is great. If we do want to like sort of spice up and use us and something else later, we can do that. But this is a really straightforward way to just kind of get started. So moving forward, let's kind of work on our styling a little bit. So it looks like basically there's this sort of form box situation, and then we have the individual to-dos, and then they show up down below here. So let's work on this box. So in this selection, it looks like we have, this is our background color. So we'll go over here, get a box from Material UI, box, and we'll say background color is going to be this. And then we'll say the text color, I guess, is this, or no, that's the wrong one. We want, oh, okay, there we go. The text color is going to be this. So we'll drop a typography element in here. So color. We'll drop the to-do in between there. Save that. Let's look at the font. 18. Say font size 1.125 rem. And it looks fairly normal. All right, so there's that. And then there's also the checkbox. I'm gonna see if there's like a checkbox. Yeah. If you're gonna use a checkbox from Material UI. We'll say, yeah, let's just borrow one of their checkboxes. And we'll use that in front of it here. Oh, and actually, I'm going to turn this into a client component as well, because I'm going to say, does not leave the label. We have the checkbox, and we say checked is going to be const is checked, is completed, comma, set is complete. Set is complete. So use state is complete is false to start with, because they're all going to be unchecked to start with, and then checked is going to be, oops, checked is going to be is complete. I'll save that. This box I'm going to turn into a flex box, and I'll add some margin right to the checkbox. We'll say 1 rem. And then I think we need some padding just all around, maybe 1.5 rem. And then it appears that there's this like horizontal rule after each of them. So I'll add, how should we do that? I think we'll do that in the actual container itself. But yeah, that looks so far so good. We'll say on click, we'll say set is complete to be the opposite of is complete. And then we want to do a strike through. Okay, you can do it with that. Can I do it? Let's see if I can do it. Okay, we could use a tag. Okay, let's use the tag, although I'm wondering if text decoration. Let's try that. Line through. Okay, I think that's what we want. Yeah, line through. Okay, cool. Let's use that. So we'll say text decoration. We'll say is complete. If true, we'll say line through. If false, we'll say none. So that way we can cross it out if it's complete. And then there was also the color changes. I think this might be the color. So we'll say, we'll do the same thing. We'll say is complete. If true, this is the color. If false, that's the color. We'll see if that works. And that looks pretty decent. I think we're good to go there. Let's see if it works. So we'll say to do 1. Okay, awesome. And then if I cross it through, perfect. To do 2, perfect. Awesome. Looks pretty good. Let's sort of clean it up a little bit, but other than that, it looks pretty good. We'll say align items center. And now let's really clean up the whole styles of this. So we'll say to do container, I'm actually going to probably do like a container, container, and we'll say max width equals medium, and we'll import a container. Good. And then we'll say we need this header up here. So you can add that. I think we'll add that on the page. We'll say typography. We'll say to do. And we'll say color is going to be white. And the size, font size is going to be 2.5 rem. And the font weight is going to be, let's say 600. So we have to do, and then this display flex. Column. Oh, you know what? No, this actually needs to go within the container. Otherwise, it's not going to be in line. Okay. Yeah, that looks better. Okay. what we can put here, oops, sorry, not there, what we can put here is the, should I say margin? Good, yeah, 98. Okay, cool. So it's gonna put it in the center now. Although I don't really want it in the center. Let's just give it a margin. Yeah, okay, that's a lot better. So for this, yeah, let's do this background image. So we'll say, I think we want to do it as a background. Background image is, I think it's URL. We'll go to our images, background dark. It's either URL or source, so we'll try this one, see if that works. Okay, that works, cool. Okay, margin, not that padding. Good, and I'm just gonna clean up the margin here, so we know that random line. Good, so we have to do there, so we have that background color. And we'll say background size, let's say 50%. I don't know what that's gonna look like. Say 100%. Looks pretty good. I think we just leave it as is. And then we want to make our form kind of look like our to-do. So we'll say okay, so it's just a text field right now. Let's style that to look like a to-do. Borrow these styles. The color is going to be this. Or no, the is it placeholder? Oops. Placeholder is going to be create a new to do. ... We'll save that. Awesome. And then we'll say align item center. We don't need to do that. There we go. Create a new to do number 1. Oh, it extends the background. Interesting. Let's say background repeat. No, repeat. Good. That's what we want to do. To do number 1, to do number 2, to do number 3, to do number 4, to do number 5. And we did number 2. We did number 3, we did number 4. Awesome. That looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. I think we touch up the styling a little bit. Like here, for instance, instead of returning just a to-do, we could return a to-do with an HR underneath. Or not. Doesn't look super great. We could say border bottom 1 pixel solid, whatever this color is. Let's go. I don't know if that's the right color actually. I think it's that 9797. Yeah, that looks a lot better. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That was a really, really quick, simple to do. This is something that's really useful that you might get asked in a job interview for a front end position, just how to really quickly make a to do. If you wanted to take this challenge to the next level, I'd recommend actually adding in that light mode, dark mode switcher. That'd be something really cool to do. We did it a couple of challenges ago. Another thing you could do is having it persist. So installing something like Redux persist to have the state persist. So even when you leave and come back, you'll still have your to-do list there. So if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more content like this, feel free to subscribe by hitting that button down below. And if you want to see the rest of the videos in this challenge, I'll leave a link to the playlist up here so you can check those out. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.